is it? Who's there? Who's there? Hello, operator. Get me the police. Operator? Oh, operator, I'm sorry. Forget it. Lieutenant Columbo? Is that you? Come on, Lieutenant. Come in and have a drink. Lieutenant Columbo.
This is the way your brother came in that night, isn't it?
How did you get in?
Same way your brother did, with a spare key. One of my men located your locksmith. He was very cooperative.
What do you expect to prove by this bit of nonsense?
Well, I don't want to prove anything, ma'am. I came to arrest you.
Arrest me?
Yes, ma'am. For the murder of your brother.
Oh.
And I did have a reason for coming in this way. I wanted to see the look on your face.
Very well. I'll consider myself under arrest. And now I want to see the look on your face when I call my lawyer.
You know what's ironic? I knew it wasn't an accident the first night. I knew it as soon as I saw that newspaper, but I didn't have any proof. I had to wait for the proof. I had to wait for your fiancé to give it to me.
From Peter?
Yes, ma'am. Although I don't think he meant to. You see, according to your story, you were asleep at night. The alarm woke you up, you reached for a gun, and you shot what you thought was a burglar.
Which is exactly what happened.
Couldn't be. Because Mr. Hamilton, who was driving up outside at the time, he heard both the shots and the alarm.
Of course he did. What difference does that make?
Oh, big difference. He heard the shots first, then the alarm. That's the cart before the horse. I mean, how could the alarm wake you if the shots came first? You see, what really happened was your brother came walking in here, just the way I did tonight. And you shot him. And then you set the alarm a few seconds later.
Peter is mistaken.
No, he's a very good lawyer, and he prides himself on his memory. And he won't like it. But he'll testify against you in court if he has to. And along with the other holes in your story, I think they'll convict you. No, really, you don't want to do that. Policeman outside, what would be the point? Besides, you're too classy a woman. Man, would you get dressed now? Take all the time you need. Do you know they have stuff in the Chamber of Horrors here that actually makes my skin crawl?
I think it's disgusting. Putting him on display.
Oh, listen, I know how you must feel. And I sympathize with you. But you know somebody's been murdered, and you know what they tell me? They tell me folks around here, they kind of enjoy that sort of thing. You want to bet they hang up a figure of Mr. Tanner, too?
Most people, Columbo, have frightful taste, yourself included. And you'll have to excuse us. Come along, Lily.
Not just yet, sir.
Well, if you think we're going to play some sort of charade with this ridiculous...
See, Mr. Frame, I'm always getting you angry. I'm sorry about that. It must be my accent or something. But I wanted you here because I wanted you to help me prove something. I think I'll get rid of this. I don't think Mr. Tanner killed anybody like the newspapers are saying. I think it was you.
just when I was beginning to like you.
This is going to sound silly, but Sir Roger, he was killed someplace else, and his body was moved later on. And if I can only prove where it was that he drove that night, prove who it was that he went to see, then everything will start falling into place.
Well, he did not come to see us. Now, how many times?
No, sir, not to your dressing room in the theater. It was to yours. That's where the umbrellas come in. I guess umbrellas are the kind of thing that I can understand. You know, I've been watching people to see what they do with umbrellas when they come in out of the rain. They close the umbrella, they give it a shake like this, and they find someplace to lean it against. But they never fasten this strap because then it won't dry properly.
Fascinating.
There's only one problem with that. Sometimes things drop in. Almost anything can drop in. So I got to thinking, if maybe that's what Sir Roger did with his umbrella, and something dropped into it that night, well, then maybe, got these things here somewhere. Just give me a moment, would you? Oh, forgive me. Amazing likeness, isn't it? Where was I? Oh, yes. Ma'am, the other night I stepped on a pearl in your dressing room. I have some more just like it. I got it from your costumer. She says she makes them.
Oh, yes.
Well, maybe, if the necklace was broken in a fight, like you said.
But that was Nicky and I.
Jones, bring us that umbrella, would you?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, there's a chance, a pretty good chance, that if the fight was with Sir Roger...
No, it wasn't.
Well, there's no point speculating. Mr. Jones, could we move back just a little, give the gentleman room? Mr. Jones, would you open the umbrella, sir?
Why, it's the same. Exactly the same.
Well, ma'am?
Sir?
Sir. Sir. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. And tomorrow.
Nicky, stop it. He put it there. Can't you see before we came? He put it there.
Jones, has anybody but you touched that umbrella?
No, sir. I'll testify to that.
Then he must have done it when we weren't looking. Oh, Nicky, please!
Lighted fools.
He was mad, don't you see?
Yes.
He didn't know what he was doing.
I know he didn't.
And Sir Roger, that was my fault.
I understand.
It was an accident. I swear it.
Struts.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
His hour. Open the
Don't be
stage
too
and
hard
then
on Nicky.
turn no more.
You must try to understand.
It is.
Yes, well, I think we can settle all this at the yard. Smythe, will you take over, eh?
Very good, sir. And Fiore. Tomorrow. And tomorrow.
What is it, Lieutenant?
I guess it's a lot of things, Miss Chandler.
Would you care to explain that and what you're doing here?
You know, a part of me really didn't want him to head up.
You know, Lieutenant, I really don't feel very well. I wonder if you'd mind leaving, and then perhaps we can chat some other time.
I know you killed Jean Davis.
I find you amusing up to a point, Lieutenant, but you've passed that.
There's just so many pieces that didn't add up. Hired, I wouldn't go flat. Why you refused to sell the cottage, that bothered me.
Would you kindly get out? I'm just not in the mood for any more of your rambling speculations.
I'm here to arrest you for the murder of Jean Davis.
Oh,
You're not serious.
You let the air out of her tire, you stayed to see her get into Parks's car, and then you killed her. I'm afraid I am serious.
But why? Why would I do that? I love Jean.
The why was very difficult to figure out. Meeting Parks' study Tuesday, June 6th. Do you remember after you admitted juggling the books on the Italian movie and then Mr. Parks intimated he still had something on you? No, Parks probably bluffing. Nevertheless, Chandler, unnerved, quickly takes drink.
Oh, that means nothing.
Well, it could mean he had something else to hide. The prop man told me you only drink under pressure. Got a theory here. Nora Chandler has secret. Jean Davis knows secret. There's a motive. I have it written right here. Possible motive. Prevent Jean Davis from revealing secret to Jerry Parks.
Oh, you must be desperate, Lieutenant. You have no proof of anything.
What is the secret? See, key. What is secret? That's what bothered me. Fountain. Why Fountain doesn't run. That bothered me. Yeah, that's what started to bother me. Right. That's what fountains are for. Why didn't the water run? Most people like the sound of running water. I do.
Well, I don't.
Well, that's what I assumed at first. And then I spoke to the head of the property department. You know, they keep incredible records. You know, there's a number at the base of that fountain. I saw it that day that I picked the flower. Anyway, the prop man told me that you ordered the fountain for sentimental reasons.
Yes, but I told you. It was from a picture I just finished.
September 16th, 1960. That was the day you ordered the fountain.
Well, I don't remember the exact day.
September 15th, the day before. That was the day your husband disappeared. Now it starts to make some sense. I have a possible explanation for why the fountain doesn't run. In order to lay water pipe, somebody would have to dig up the lawn, wouldn't they?
Drink, Lieutenant?
Thank you.
Jerry Parks wasn't hurt, was he?
No, ma'am.
Where'd you get that ring?
Borrowed it. I was just playing hunches. I had nothing to go on. I was just guessing. I had nothing concrete. I just wanted to see what you'd do. And when you came in here, you didn't even turn on the lights, just ran right straight through to the fountain. You know, coincidence? If I hadn't called George, if he hadn't been looking at TV, if it was some other movie, if he hadn't been dressing like a man, because that's when it occurred to me. 12 years ago, somebody standing on a beach at night saw your husband get in a boat and go out to the ocean. And I remember the photographs, you and your husband, the same height. Could have been you.
It was. See, I married Al because I thought I could, improve myself, you know, my career. And then I began to care about the marriage. So when he went playing around, you know, all the starlets, all that bit, well, it hurt. So I put up with it, you know. I put up with it until one night he brought one of them right in here. And we had a hell of a fight. We argued, fought. And I struck him with a bottle. And I panicked. And buried him out there. Jean knew. Well, I'll get a coat, and we'll go.
This is outrageous. Who's responsible for this? What are you looking for? Let Let me put it this way. If you found a little red jar with an 8-sided bottom, would you get promoted?
Just take it easy, lady. Just take it easy.
Taking it easy. As a matter of fact, I could offer you a drink and help you search if I weren't so furious.
No luck yet, Lieutenant. No luck at all.
Lieutenant, would you please do what you have to do and get out of here? How long is this going to take?
Damnedest case I've ever seen.
Will you answer me? How long is this going to take?
Found the poison ivy.
That's good. Where?
In Lessing's place.
I know at Lessons, but where?
It was in the bottom drawer of a file cabinet. The drawer was locked.
You were nowhere near that drawer.
I know. I never opened the drawer. Still trying to figure out where I got my poison ivy.
Poor thing. Still worried about your itch.
You worried about yours?
No.
Couldn't help noticing, ma'am, the past few days you've been scratching your hand and wearing gloves.
So?
Been out of state recently?
No.
Neither have I.
Lieutenant, you amaze me. Number one, you don't even know if I have poison ivy.
Doctor will tell us that.
Number two, even if I do have it, it has nothing to do with Carl Lessing because I never touched that vial.
You're under arrest for murder. Sergeant, would you step out of the room for a moment?
Hey, Lieutenant, another second or so I'll have
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Okay. All right, fellas, let's go.
Do you ever have the feeling when you're about to go on a trip that you forgot something? You know, just as you get in a cab and you're going to the airport, you have an anxious feeling that you forgot something, that something is missing. That's the feeling I got the first time I saw that microscope. I remember I turned and I saw it, and I said, "Is that a microscope?" And I started walking toward it, and I remember the fingerprint man. He was talking. I didn't hear him good because I was distracted by the feeling that something was missing. Do you know what I mean?
That can be very annoying.
It was, until an hour ago. Run into George, he's my brother-in-law, he's just back from Mexico today. He said, "Take a look at these." Knows I love family pictures. Took these out, handed them to me, and he said, "These are the best slides I've ever taken." Slides. Slides. That's when it hit me. Where there's a microscope, there's always a slide. You see, we got our poison ivy in the same place. We both touched the slide. You touched it when you picked up the microscope and hit him. That's when the slide broke. I got it when I put my hand on the floor and it touched a piece of glass. I remember because I said, "Fellas, feels like there's broken glass here." The fingerprint man, he thought the glass came from a drinking glass.
Wow. Very good, Lieutenant.
Have you come here to torture us again, Lieutenant? Haven't you done enough?
I'm releasing your niece in my cognizance, Miss Hill.
Releasing her?
That's right. I don't think she killed anybody. And I don't think she stole this either. She's been using it all afternoon as an ashtray. She doesn't even know what it is.
What is it?
Janie, for heaven's sake. Your aunt's been teaching you Byzantine art for 3 months, don't you know?
No, she doesn't. And she doesn't even know how we happened to be looking for it. And she doesn't know how we knew that it was missing for 2 weeks before the murder.
He thinks that you killed my father, Aunt Ruth.
What?
He thinks that you hated him. He thinks that you hated all of us so much that you killed him. He doesn't know how much you love us. He doesn't know how you've kept the family together. You never would have tried to do this if you knew how much my Aunt Ruth has done for us. How much she's done for me.
All I got is a tape recording. I don't think it's enough to convict you. It's your brother's voice. It's from the inventory that he was taking. This tape is dated April 30th.
Miniature incised gold piece, Bronze Age. 1 inch square. Miniature halberd, same period, 1.5 inches. Gold mounted button, green, same period. Gold beaker, same period, 6 inches. Halberd, 1 inch square, miniature. Large gold belt buckle, Bronze Age, 3.5 by 5 inches.
I want to hear that last item again.
Large gold belt buckle.
Large gold belt buckle. That's it, Miss Litton. Sergeant Miller and I, we thought it was a dish. We were wrong. It wasn't a dish. It was a gold belt buckle. And it was there the night that Edward died. It was never missing at all.
Lieutenant, I don't know what you're talking about.
And you never will, Mrs. Brandt, unless this case goes to trial. And then it will all come out. What your brother said to you about something being missing. And what you said to me.
Janie?
It wasn't true what he told you about my killing your father. Was it, Lieutenant? You lied about that, didn't you? Tell her it wasn't true. Tell her. It was all such a long time ago, it couldn't matter to anyone anymore. Only to Janie.
Yes, ma'am. It wasn't true. I lied about that.
It won't be necessary to use the tapes as evidence, Lieutenant.
Yes, ma'am.
Lieutenant, may I take your arm?
It's my pleasure, Miss Litton. Just one more thing.